4 more patients died at or en route to hospital, and a 5th was later identified as having died the night before, officials said. The death toll from Irma stood at 81, with several hard-hit Caribbean islands accounting for more than half the fatalities, and officials continued to assess damage inflicted by the second major hurricane to strike the U.S. mainland this year. The devastation left by Hurricane Irma was far greater, at least in certain locations, than anyone thought, but amazing people working hard, the president said in a tweet on Tuesday. One of the most powerful Atlantic storms on record, Irma bore down on the Caribbean with devastating force as it raked the northern shore of Cuba last week. It barreled into the Florida Keys island chain on Sunday, packing sustained winds of up to 130 miles per hour, 215 kilometers per hour, before plowing up the Gulf Coast of the state and dissipating. In addition to severe flooding across Florida and extensive property damage in the Keys, residents faced widespread power outages that initially plunged more than half the state into darkness. Some 4.3 million homes and businesses were still without power on Wednesday in Florida and neighboring states. About 150 of the Florida's nearly 700 nursing facilities were without electricity as of Wednesday morning, according to the Florida Health Care Association, which represents most of them. Florida Power and Light provided electricity to parts of the nursing home in Hollywood, but the facility was not on a county priority list for emergency power restoration, the utility said. Total insured losses from the storm are expected to run about $25 billion, including $18 billion in the United States and $7 billion in the Caribbean, catastrophe modeler Karen Clark and Company estimated on Wednesday. The Florida Keys were particularly hard hit, with federal officials saying 90% of its homes were destroyed or heavily damaged. The remote island chain stretches nearly 100 miles, 160 kilometers, into the Gulf of Mexico from Florida's southern tip, connected by a single highway and series of bridges. On Key West, at the end of the archipelago, hundreds of residents who had refused evacuation orders lined up on Wednesday outside the island's Salvation Army outpost for water and military-style rations after enduring days of intense heat with little water, power, or contact with the outside world. The stench of dead fish and decaying seaweed permeated the air. Irma wreaked utter devastation on several of the northern Leeward Islands of the Caribbean, where at least 43 people died. Irma hit Florida about 2 weeks after Hurricane Harvey plowed into Houston, killing about 60 and causing some $180 billion in damage, mostly from flooding.